Welcome everyone to the SEC on ESPN, and we are in the Show Me State. And for Missouri sports fans, it's been quite a show lately. How about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? We're looking for back-to-back Super Bowl titles on Sunday against Brady and the Buccaneers. On the baseball diamond, look out, the St. Louis Cardinals swung a huge hot stove homer. They steal Nolan Arenado from Colorado. And then there were the Missouri Tigers surging in the SEC today. They get a showdown with the Kentucky Wildcats, a team looking for a spark to try to turn this season around. 5-10, 4-4 in the SEC. Kentucky will not be seen in Joe Lunardi's bracketology. There are 6 teams from the SEC currently in. LSU and Arkansas are struggling. Alabama's the cream of the crop. Jimmy Dykes the cream of the crop when it comes to this telecast. I'm just Carl Ravitch. All right, Jeremiah was a bullfrog. He was a horned frog the other night. He and Xavier Pinson coming off outstanding performances.
Yeah, those two guys put it on TCU. Well played by you, Ravi. And think about Jeremiah Tillman. Best post player right now in the SEC. Just a load on that left block especially. Finishes about 67% of every shot that he's taken right now in college basketball. That's a terrific number. And the speed of this kid, Xavier Pinson, is really difficult. I mean, he can blow by people, shoots a nice 3-ball as well. And if Kentucky's not locked in on that 1-5 matchup tonight between those two guys, it could be a long night for the Cats. Those two dudes, hard to guard.
First time in Missouri history that both scored 33 or more in the same game, and they are part of the starting 5. And Kentucky's gone tall tonight. They got Olivier Sarr, see him right there, and Isaiah Jackson to start, the freshman who'll jump center against Tillman. As we get set to be underway here with the SEC on ESPN. It's Davion Mintz who steps in. He'll launch a 3 right out of the gate, and that one is off the mark. Missouri lineup, Jimmy: Drew Smith, the senior, Jeremiah Tillman, Pinson, Javon Pickett, and Kobe Brown. Brown gets the start, coming off a 13 rebound performance against TCU. Pinson still hot. He knocks down a 3 as we take a look at the Wildcat lineup. We've already seen the shot from Mintz. Told you about Jackson jumping center. Sarr, Devin Askew, and Brandon Boston round out the 5. Askew's got the ball in his hands. Jimmy, he has not scored a field goal in his last 3 games.
Well, Ravi, it's a Kentucky team that really struggles to go by anybody off the bounce on the offensive end. And Cal, the last 2 or 3 days, he's told us, I'm trying to get my offense more spread and get guys playing simple basketball in terms of attacking the paint. Can they do it in this game? We shall see.
Offensive rebound unable to be held by Kentucky, and it's Drew Smith dribbling the ball. And that is Kobe Brown. Think that's a little reward from Konzo Martin for Brown?
Yeah, absolutely it is. I mean, he's the sidekick to Tillman on the inside in terms of just setting the hard screens, cleaning up the rebounds on the weak side when Tillman goes to work on the left block. And Jeremiah Tillman has really come on. And this kid right here just does all the stuff that doesn't show up on a stat sheet, helps you win ball games.
Other games in the SEC tonight, ESPNU for a good one, LSU and Alabama. Carolina and Florida. South Carolina had a lead in that one. Oklahoma State and TCU will follow us here on ESPN2.
Brandon Boston tucked down here in this bottom corner, Ravi. He tells you a lot where Kentucky's going to go offensively. When he gets in that far corner, there's a pin down threat getting ready to happen. Keep an eye on 3 in blue.
Keep an eye on Olivier Sarr as he hits the foul line jumper.
That's who he is. Olivier Sarr is a very good, workout guy. Catch the ball 15, 16 feet. He looks so smooth in those situations, just not a rough and tumble guy.
Olivier Sarr picked it away from Tillman, did not step out of bounds. It'll be Kentucky basketball. That could be a tough matchup for Olivier Sarr or anybody who's got to guard that guy right there. Tillman is as he was described by Calipari, a moose today. He's 6'10", 260 out of East St. Louis.
Yeah, moves really well. Jeremiah Tillman's hands have improved probably as much as anything part of his game. And the hands improve, the whole game follows, and that's exactly what's happened with 23 in white.
Foul against Kobe Brown. That'll send Jackson to the free throw line. Last 7 games, he's averaged almost 29 rebounds per game, 5 double-doubles. You remember Jeremiah Tillman and the evolution of that guy. His hands were rough in the beginning. Jimmy, he was prone to foul trouble, and all of a sudden this season, and perhaps there's a particular moment or game when it all turned around for him, but he is arguably top 5 big men in the country and likely the best center in the SEC.
Well, he's averaging 19 and 9 in the past 7 ball games. And think about this. He's drawing 6.3 fouls per 40 minutes, and now he's only committing 4.2 fouls per 40 minutes. Year 1, year 2, year 3, those numbers were flip-flop, and I think this kid has really benefited also by Mike Eads, the new coordinator of officials in the SEC. Ravi has kind of sent the message. This is a big boy league. Call the big boy fouls, not the touch fouls. Tillman has also benefited from that.
Lane violation against Kentucky, so it's 3-3.
I would not get overstretched.
Tillman.
Yeah, I would not get overstretched if I'm Kentucky to start this game defensively. Missouri is not a three-point shooting team. 28%, keep those blue jerseys inside that three-point line.
Yeah, not a good three-point shooting team, really not a good outside shooting team. Tillman has been such a focal point of that offense. As Mint swings it to Boston, quick three, a little short.
Well, the three-point shooting of Boston, Askew, and Clark, who's not with Kentucky tonight, all below 26%, historically low for a Kentucky team.
Whoa, tough shot from Tillman as he gets the bucket and gets fouled.
Ravi, his speed, talking about Tillman, very impressive from paint to paint. And this dude runs every time. He comes up with a rebound and just takes off. And this is not even a full sprint, just a lack of awareness by Kentucky. Sets the ball screen and gets himself freed up with a naked roll to the rim in the middle part of the floor. He is really good on the move as a 6'11", 260-pound kid.
50% free throw shooter. You see the number there. That foul's on Isaiah Jackson. That's his first. And Tillman misses. Whistle blows. Is that the second lane violation against Kentucky here on free throws to start this game?
And why do you want to do that? I mean, you're looking at Tillman, who is a, 53% career free throw guy.
Askew pressuring, he throws it up and can't get it to go, but he was able to draw the foul on Xavier Pinson. Well, Jimmy, this has been a test. You know, Calipari has had such great success. He's been so good at the one and dones. You know, and if you look at it, we mentioned Nolan Arenado at the top as like a batting average. I mean, his success rate, his batting average on recruits, what do you think? It's about 800? Well, this year it feels like there was a lot of swing and miss, at least to this point, when it came to his recruits and their ability to turn it into, you know, a very solid season for him. He's gotten so many in years past.
Well, let's talk about Askew at that free throw line. First of all, he should still be a senior in high school, and in a normal year at Kentucky, Askew would be a 9 or 10 minute guy, but this is not a normal year. He's been thrust into the 30-minute role that he's just not ready for. And Cal and I talked a couple of weeks ago that this year that he's going through, talking about Calipari, I think will really determine his next 8, 10 years, whatever it is at Kentucky. Learn from this, learn from your recruiting mistakes, and make sure going forward you get the right kind of dudes that you want to coach in your program. And I have all the confidence that he will.
Mitchell Smith into the game, Sarr and Tillman banging, and it looked like Sarr took it off the back of the head, and they call the foul on him to add insult to what appears to be a slight injury.
It's going to be a high contact game when you play against Missouri and you play against Tillman. And Tillman is so good at getting his elbows out in the legal position and his hands not being extended. Has really learned to operate through a lot of contact throughout his career.
Tom Green, KB Burnett, and Doug Sermons, the officials on the floor tonight. You mentioned this is going to be a battle, and both teams are foul prone. In fact, Missouri makes a living on the free throw line.
Well, in Kentucky, they need those free throw points as well. When you're struggling in the half court and only shooting 45% from the two-part towards the point of the floor, like Kentucky, you've got to get at the strike.
Mark Smith misses an easy layup to Bugs is on the floor. The Hawaii transfer wearing 2 in white. Sarr's little jump hook no good. And Here comes Missouri.
A good job by Isaiah Jackson to run step for step with Tillman, Ravi, and give him contact at the logo. Defending Tillman early, really well done by 23 in blue.
And you get a travel. Good defense by the man in blue. I got an idea, Jimmy. Why don't you take us to break here?
Yeah, I've been working on this all day. Sometimes there's one play that changes a season for a kid. This was it against Bradley to close it out. Jeremiah Tillman with a basket makes the free throw. Jeremiah Tillman from that point on, hard to guard. Nailed it. Jeremiah Tillman from Missouri, hard to guard because multiple trips a ball game. He's going to get from paint to paint in 3.5 or 4 seconds. He can really run, put a lot of pressure on the defense early for those early post-ups. If that's not there, he goes to that left block, and now his left shoulder starts taking control of the basketball game. On a touch, his left shoulder comes to the front of the rim. If the defense gets on the high side of that left shoulder and takes away the jump hook, bam, the reverse pivot gets him back to the left side where he's a high finisher, shooting 67% from the field. Jeremiah Tillman's game is simple, solid, and sound. Hard to guard, 23 in white. Ravi, he's a big kid that, first of all, can really, really run. I said 3.5, 4 seconds from paint to paint. That's really good speed. And you see the numbers that he put up against TCU on Saturday. But he'll spin on you. He'll get 2 or 3 posts within a possession. He'll post and repost. Really, really works. But that left block now, that's where he gets the most damage done. And he keeps his game simple and sound in that area. Left shoulder strong. You take it away. Boom, has good quick shoulders, like we talked about with Derek Culver at West Virginia. Similar in a lot of ways. Just hard to handle, man, around that restricted arc.
All right, Lance Ware into the game early on. Have you seen anything from Kentucky that indicates there's any change in offensive philosophy or play?
Well, the offense looks very similar to what we've seen all year. There's an ISO that time for Isaiah Jackson. And what Calipari is trying to do is get his guys in position to beat that defender one-on-one and get downhill. The problem is, do they have guys that can consistently do it? I don't think they have it on their roster.
Well, the numbers certainly back you up. Their worst points per game since '85, their field goals since '63, and their three-point field goal percentage ever. They are 1 for 9 here to start the game, and there's some frustration from Brandon Boston. 1 for 9, Kentucky to start this one. We just saw the Drew Smith 3 go through the basket. They got a 4-point lead. We've already seen Lance Ware come in. Here comes Keon Brooks.
Pin down for Mintz. Mintz and Boston out of that bottom left corner where the pin down action occurs. Missouri really good at blowing that stuff up, though.
That's a big bucket. Askew knocks one down. He mentioned the fact that he's really struggled. He had been 0 for his last 13, 2 for his last 19. You're so used to seeing Kentucky point guards be able to create, to drive, to dish, and to score. And it hasn't been that way yet for Devin Askew.
No, it has not. But you know what? I trust this kid's effort. I think that his heart's in the right place. He's just been put in a wrong spot this year for Kentucky, just not ready to be a 30-minute guy and lead a winning team. You look at those historically poor shooting numbers. I talked about Boston, Askew, and Clark, all under 26% from the three-point line. 3 guys in the same year. It's only happened 6 times in the previous 34 years for Kentucky.
My man, Parker Brown, steps into one and knocks it down. Alley-oop, Jackson down low. He goes up strong and he gets it to go, but they're going to call him for steps before the basket.
Yeah, Parker Brown, spell it Braun. Really a good-looking shot. Even a couple of years ago when he was redshirted and he came out those pregame warm-ups, you saw that, boy, the shot really looks good. His brother at Kansas, also known as a shooter. Konzo not afraid to throw this kid in there 8 or 9 minutes a ball game.
That one misses, and again, this is a Missouri team that shoots 30% from three-point land, and already tonight they are 3 for 5. Askew cuts, finger roll, he gets it to go, and he's looking for a foul.
Yeah, really a violent cut out of Askew, and I haven't seen Kentucky make a lot of those this year, and Askew just made one of them, got him right to the rim.
Back the other way, the other number 2, Drew Buggs, gets it to go. That ball out of bounds. Want to remind everybody, Saturday primetime. It's presented by H&R Block, and it is the rivalry in college basketball. In spite of the fact that the teams are down, how often do you see Carolina and Duke not put on a great show? We expect it again Saturday at 6 o'clock Eastern time, and then the showcase continues with Tennessee and Kentucky at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So both games, big games on Saturday. Sonic Blockbuster at 6, and then Kentucky and Tennessee at 8. On ESPN and the ESPN app, you can watch anywhere. And friends, foes, or just wearing the cool jerseys?
Seems like every game for Duke and North Carolina now is a must-win in terms of their chance to get in the NCAA tournament. I got an idea for you, Ravi. If they don't make it, how about we take Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina, Indiana, or Michigan State, not in the NCAA tournament this year, and take them somewhere and play a round robin? You with me on that one?
I'd
just
go.
let those 4 teams go at it.
Yeah. Can we do it in a, maybe like an island somewhere?
Well, if we can't go to the Bahamas, I was thinking French Lick, Indiana. Take it there, just kind of a side tournament to the NCAA tournament. And the star power. Just think of the star power.
Will Larry be there?
Oh, it's possible.
Well, if Larry's going to be there, I'm in. Yeah, I'm in.
That is too easy. Now, I spent the night at Larry Bird's house one time, Ravi. One of the most memorable times in my life. I was driving with Joe Klein home from Boston Celtics that year, and we stopped off in French Lick on the drive home. And phenomenal time for me in Larry Bird's house for 24 hours.
Like, what was phenomenal? The house, the food, the stories, what?
The house was just a typical Larry Bird, one floor, red brick home, nothing fancy about it, but just the thing that stuck the most to me was how terrific he was as a golfer and how competitive he was as a golfer the next day. There's a reason why that guy was special. Hated to lose anything.
Yeah, I hear that. Xavier Pinson, 2 easy back-to-back layups now for Missouri, and they've opened up a 9-point lead. See Calipari trying to find the right formula. Look at the guys on the floor now. Dante Allen, Keon Brooks, Lance Ware, Askew, and Sarr. That's Keon Brooks. He's open, and he knocks it down.
And did not hesitate. That's exactly what Cal's been asking his guys to do. We need to get up 6 or 8 more shots a game. They're there if we watch the film. If you catch it, it's clean. Man, rise and fire. Really well done by Brooks.
Tillman, Ware on him. There's that turn to his left, and he's just too big, too strong. He gets it to go. Going to call another walk on Tillman this time.
Jeremiah Tillman on that left block. You've got to get a big body on him, and Cal has put Lance Ware on Jeremiah Tillman. Kid's hard to guard on that left block. Stay with it, Cal. Keep punching him.
All right, big one in the Big Ten. That's coming up tomorrow. Number 7, Ohio State. They are playing really well. They've won 3 in a row, shooting really well, defending. They've won 6 of 7. It's going to be a tough test. Luka Garza and number 8, Iowa. In spite of losing 2 in a row, that's the blessing and the curse. You get them when they're down, which means they're angry and ready for a win, or they're going to keep 3 in a row. Our coverage starts 7 Eastern, 6 Central, Carver Hawkeye Arena, ESPN, and the app.
Ravi, Luka Garza, I was talking to him back in November when I was up there for a game. He told me that his dad, when he's in the 6th grade on a drive home from a basketball game, told him, son, you're never going to be the fastest dude on the floor or the guy that jumps the highest. And if you don't play harder than everybody else every time, you've got no shot. And Luka said, man, I took that to heart when I was 12, 13 years old. And here he is, 20, 21 years old. Man, putting it on people, isn't he?
He sure is. Hard to imagine Iowa losing 3 games in a row. Bucket there from Keon Brooks, 17-13. Brooks got a couple of buckets near off the bench.
Lance Ware, 55 in blue, doing a good job of being physical with Tillman on that left block. As Tillman releases and becomes a sprint-out ball screen guy, tries to get the switch, and Kentucky has no part of it.
Javon Pinkett in traffic, kicks it back. He'll get it at the 3-point line, comes in for a 2. As the shot clock expired, they'll count that, 19-13.
Really well done by Pickett, a 31% 3-point shooter. Got the shot fake and took what the defense gave him, took up the slack. Really well done to make a play out of that corner. Ravi, the only offense I've ever seen that works when you have a team that does not have a guard that can go by his guy. The old Boston College tight flex offense, where they literally just pounded that thing and pounded it and pounded it. Other than that, offense does not work, man, when you don't have a guard that can go by and make a play for others.
Well, both got a little sloppy there. Askew with the turnover, and then Kobe Brown tried to outrun everybody, and he turned it over. So today, a statement from the family of Florida's Keontae Johnson. He, of course, collapsed on December 12th. The news today on the statement that was released was that his collapse, according to all the medical professionals they had helped diagnose Johnson's subsequent collapse, it was not related to COVID in any way. Florida has not yet disclosed the reason for the collapse. We don't know if the family actually knows the reason. He will not play again this season, but the speculation early on was this had to be associated with COVID. And it turns out that the officials in Florida, as well as Massachusetts General Hospital and others, determined it was not related to COVID. So Keontae Johnson may, in fact, issue a statement in the coming days, if not weeks. And it's I think, on some level encouraging, and on another level, it's obviously a loss for all of us because we don't get a chance to see him, and clearly this is his love, is basketball.
Yeah, such a beautiful person, first of all. And Mike's told you and I both just how well he has adjusted to his new role. And Mike White really listens to Keontae Johnson. That's that trust factor that he has with that kid. And certainly our thoughts and prayers continue to be with him. Hoping he's seen back on the floor one of these days. And man, what a beautiful kid and a terrific player.
Rare alley-oop that was attempted to be thrown over Isaiah Jackson. He did enough to disrupt it. And here comes Davion Mintz back into the game. Neither team able to establish anything offensively. Boston got in the lane, missed it. Ware with the miss on the tip. So a couple of easy ones inside the paint can't go.
Yeah, Kentucky's missing back-to-back two-point shots that are makeable shots. I talked about it earlier. Kentucky only shooting 48% from the two-point part of the floor. Make it 45%. Hard to win games like that, man.
Mintz saw a lane, he threw it up. It goes missing the basket, but he'll go to the free throw line.
He is Kentucky's most complete guard on both ends of the floor. Talking about Davion Mintz. He's their best threat in transition with the ball. He's their best threat in the half-court offense, moving without the ball. Defensively, I think he fights his butt off. He makes a lot of good plays on that end as well. Not a point, not a two, just kind of a ball guard.
Kobe Brown picks up his second foul. This Mintz, a very good shooter and a good free throw shooter. Think about Konzo Martin and what he's done since the Missouri State, Tennessee, Cal days. He's been at Missouri since 2017. And this year, 5 quad one wins. All of a sudden, the things that Missouri hadn't been doing, they are doing far more consistently with Konzo Martin.
Well, think about it. Illinois, Ohio State, Gonzaga, Baylor, Alabama, and Missouri. The only teams with 5 quad one wins or more. And that's why Missouri's tracking right now that 4 seed in Joe Lunardi's bracket.
How about that break? You throw a ball up like Bruce Smith did. The three-point threat got it to roll in, and the lead grows to 8. Konzo Martin looks to talk.
Well, it's a Missouri team that came in shooting 28% from the three-point line, but they have gotten some good looks in this game. And Drew Smith, such an old soul kind of a guy. He's already engaged. He wants to be a financial advisor one of these days when basketball is over for him. But he 12 and white, is a 10 out of 10 in terms of a teammate.
This ball's grabbed by Kentucky off the miss.
Where that lane really gets crowded early for Kentucky, doesn't it? Not only is it difficult to go by their guy, but a lot of times they're just driving it into a crowd because of their interior spacing is so tight.
Good game for Keon Brooks. He knocks down the 3. He's got 8. Parker Brown ahead of the field. And that won't sit well. Lance Ware just got outrun.
No, what can Brown do for you? He can sprint the floor just like Jeremiah Tillman. Those Missouri bigs, man, As soon as they gain possession, man, they are shot out of a cannon. Ravi, I talk a lot about the first 3 strides. Brown and Tillman's first 3 steps, they win the battle at the rim on the other end because of it.
Keon Brooks wanted to go again. Instead, it's to Lance Ware. You see on the side of our screen, there's some blood coming out of the hand of Tillman, so he's dealing with that. Now toweling down some of that sweat. And Parker Brown just drew the offensive foul on Lance Ware. I like what you did there with what can Brown do for you. How about the impact he's had? 5 points, just drew the foul, 2 or 2 from the floor.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he didn't get called for a flop warning. I thought I saw the official give the flop warning after that play. I might be wrong. It looked like Tony Green was signaling it. Which reminds me, why are we still giving flop warnings? We don't give travel warnings. We don't give block charge warnings.
Mitchell Smith knocks down a 3. Jimmy, Missouri is not a good three-point shooting team, and they have missed 1 so far tonight. They've been outstanding as Ware gets too deep. Missouri 5 of 6 from three-point land.
Yeah, in Kentucky, on the other end, they're taking advantage of Brown being on the floor. Calipari's going right at him now, back-to-back possessions. Offensively, they haven't missed much with Tillman out of the game. Defensively, the anchor, 23 in white, sitting on the bench. Kentucky going right at the rim because of.
Coming up, an update from the other games in the SEC. What do we know? What is up with this conference?
Cap, Sean, and Dallin in studio. Big run tonight, Sean, for a Florida team riding a 4-game win streak.
Yeah, might want to guard Noah Locke. He's 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. Florida, the rest of the team, just 1 for 9.
Meantime, DC off the loss in Oklahoma. SEC top dog Alabama looking good.
Last time these two teams played, 23-3 for the Crimson Tide. They're missing shots they normally make. LSU's in danger here.
Back to the baseball crazy state of Missouri, Ravi.
Sure is. Nolan Arenado now a member of the Cardinals and, of course, the Kansas City Royals. So, yeah, this is a state that's buzzing. We also mentioned they got a football game coming up on Sunday that's of import. There are the SEC standings. Question's going to be, can anybody catch Alabama? And they're putting it to LSU right now. They'll get a further update on the E-Trade halftime report. Back here, the three-point shooting of Missouri has been the difference, Jimmy. 5 of 6 from 3. Maybe on Mintz, he launches his. That's no good. Offensive rebound goes to Dante Allen. Boston goes baseline. He gets cut off. He bounces it off Tillman. It will stay Kentucky ball.
Ravi, anyone's going to catch Alabama. I think it has to start this coming Saturday. You and I have the game, Alabama at Missouri, because there's not many games left on Alabama's schedule when you look at it and think, they could be in trouble there. And if they get by that one tonight, this next game at Missouri, that could be a huge opportunity to give them a loss. Missouri forcing that ball screen weak, making sure Askew can't stay to a strong hand.
Askew long 3 off the front iron. Jackson had it, and it's going to be Missouri basketball.
Ravi, Cameron Fletcher in the game for the first time since December the 19th. And John Calipari sent him home for a few days and said, you need to get your thoughts right and come back and we'll talk about it. And Cameron Fletcher now finds himself on the floor. Kentucky only 8 guys tonight, and 21 in blue finds himself right back out there.
And there he is in that offensive rebound grab. Another 3, and that one finds the bottom of the basket. Mark Smith catching up with Drew Smith. It's 30-21 Missouri. And Devin Askew will call timeout as Cameron Fletcher's first few minutes result in Missouri scoring points. He gets a high 5 on his way to the bench as Keon Brooks looks like he's coming up. Take a quick 30-second timeout. 30 points for Missouri. Twelve field goals, Jimmy, for Missouri. 8 different players.
Well, Missouri comes in shooting 28% from the three-point line, so Kentucky's going under. A lot of stuff to start this game and not having a high pickup point. The scouting report would tell you to play Missouri like this. But then once that game gets going, man, you got to make your adjustment. Brown knocks one down, and the Smith guys are really good at punching the paint and getting kick-out threes to the corner. Missouri is really good at knocking down those corner threes. And now Kentucky has to adjust. Forget about what the numbers said coming in. What did the numbers now say in this game? Adjust your defense going forward.
Good hands by Pinson on the steal. Then Keon Brooks comes back to pick up the block. Boston in the paint, fadeaway, high arcer. That one drops for B.J. Boston, his first field goal of the night after starting 0 for 4.
Good job by Calipari to kind of lift B.J. Boston in that half-court set and get him the ball on the move.
Tillman spun right into a double team, and he's able to make the basket in spite of the help from Keon Brooks.
Yeah, spin is the right word, and he didn't have that about him his first couple of years. He would kind of screw himself into the ground if he got in that type of situation. His hands are tremendous. Has done a ton of work with tennis balls and heavy balls. And that's where the game starts, man, for a big guy. Can you catch it? And then can you play off the catch?
Pinson right by Askew, high off the glass. Tillman had a chance and couldn't grab it. Mintz launches a three. It's good.
A great job by Kentucky to find the backside of the play in transition. Man, that's where it's happening. So many guards, Ravi, get stuck on the ball side of the floor, bringing that thing up. They don't search and seek the backside. And good job by Mintz to be there.
Smith too strong. Good box out by Jackson. That's off Tillman. Fouls on Kentucky so far. You got Boston with one, Mintz with one, Jackson with one.
Yeah, Jeremiah Tillman just is a moose is a great descriptive word. Bang you, bang you, bang you. Has the ability to slip through if the double team's not tight. Kentucky coming on the low side for the double team, but they're not taking out his airspace. And there's what I'm talking about with Mintz to run to the backside of the play. Kentucky to find him as a spotted up shooter.
Boston and Ware playing catch. Boston launches. That's way too strong. And Parker Brown in traffic picks up the rebound. Pinson right by Boston. Pretty play by the veteran Xavier Pinson.
And Ravi, now without Tillman on the floor, Missouri's transition offense is different. They run all 5 spots on the perimeter, allow guards to get to the rim clean.
Ware with a push-off. Let's go back to Pinson's speed.
Ravi, 2 different transition plays by Missouri. When Tillman's in the game, it looks one way. When he's not in the game, it looks another. And this time, Tillman on the bench. The floor opens up. Pinson's speed takes him to the rim. Winning play.
The E-Trade halftime report is on the way. Coming up, we'll check in on LSU and Alabama. Plus, we will chat with the immensely likable Ohio State star, E.J. Liddell. Sean, 16 minutes in the books. What do you make of Kentucky so far?
They are who we thought they were, to steal a line from Dennis Green. They struggle to shoot the ball. A couple made threes here have tightened this thing up, but offensively, they are limited.
It's also difficult when they can't keep the ball out of the lane. There's not much resistance defensively. They're getting some downhill drives, easy kicks for threes. Just too easy right now for Missouri.
Ravi, we'll see you back here at the half.
All right, Kevin, thanks, guys. Shooting 48% Missouri from the floor. Sarr's got 2 fouls. Brown, Parker's got 2 fouls from Missouri. Kevin Askew with a foul on the floor on Pinson.
Kentucky struggles with the ball going by their defender, and they struggle staying in front of the ball defensively. And that time, Pinson, again, just opens up the floor offensively. Tillman not on the floor. They go to a spread game and let number 1 in white Speed win the point of attack.
.36 against TCU. You can basically pencil in for 16 a game, and Pinson rattles that one out. Keon Brooks, leading scorer for Kentucky. Number 12 on the baseline's got 8. He'll launch again. That was right on line, but a little too strong.
That's that long 2 that, man, just analytically doesn't grade out. Go back and look at Kentucky. They've had bad shooters taking bad shots. Part of the reason why they have a bad record.
It just sounds bad. You know, when you make a statement like that, it just sounds bad.
And really, Cal has done everything he can. I mean, he's gotten Boston in pin-down situations. He's gotten Olivia Sarr with a face-up game. You know, he's used some ball screen action for guys. It just has not worked for Kentucky so far this year. Simply has not worked. Historically low numbers. And you wonder if the roster is built to turn this thing around as we're now 39 days from Selection Sunday. And I don't know if it is, because there is not a guard. I was talking with Scott Drew about this today, Ravi. Phenomenal job by Baylor last night. How hard the game becomes when you can't go by your guy and put the defense in a rotation. And Kentucky has struggled with it all year long.
Whether it was Higgins or Maxey or Quickly, the Kentucky Igloo Nation has been spoiled with the riches of guards that Calipari's been able to bring in. But while Calipari didn't have the 8 weeks in the summer to get these guys to a level that he would have liked, neither did any other coach have those 8 weeks in the summer. You know?
Nope. I was watching the Baylor game last night, like the rest of the nation. If you just turn the sound down like a coach does and just watch the game, I told Scott today, your dudes play harder than anyone else I see night in and night out. So you got talented guys that absolutely just bring it. The hungriest pack of dogs we have in college ball right now is out of Waco, Texas.
Ware caught it, but he was out of bounds, Jimmy.
Kid plays hard, going to be a good player. He has more like a Big Ten, old Big East style about him, Lance Ware. Just another young kid that's thrown into a lot of minutes this year for this Kentucky team.
Well, you talk about Baylor, you look at this team, Missouri, very experienced. Baylor, tons of experience. The pull-up jumper, that's too strong. Offensive rebound, grabbed by Smith after his miss, and a long three. That one finds the bottom from Mark Smith.
Ravi, I believe that's 3 made threes in this half alone off of an offensive rebound by Missouri.
Good hands and a good effort. Missouri is 7 out of 10 from three-point land. This is a 30% three-point field goal shooting team, ranked 303rd in the country. And tonight, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, watch the offensive rebound and the kick out. Kind of a loose ball, scramble for it, bam, just step right into it by Mark Smith. That is money. That is absolutely money.
Tillman back in the game. Three-point shooter Allen decides to take it in the paint, and he lost it. Turnover for Kentucky, and those are starting to pile up. That's their 7th of the first half.
If you go back and trace the tracks of Jeremiah Tillman defensively, I mean, he came out with a flurry as a ball screen defender, hard-edged it, and then bam, right back to defend the rim. That was as good as you can do for a post defender.
Tillman triple teamed, and Ware blocked that one out of bounds.
Tillman will make money as a runner, as a physical defender, as a low block scorer, as a screener, and a phenomenal teammate. I thought Konzo made a great statement today, Ravi, telling us that at times he's too sweet of a kid, doesn't demand the ball, because he doesn't want his teammates to feel like I'm here to hog everything. That's a rare combination, man. The kid's got a sweet heart that I really love.
Hinson tough. He got trapped down low. He kicks it. Smith three. That's off the iron. Offensive rebound grabbed by Mitchell Smith.
Could be another made three here off an offensive rebound.
And Jackson working hard, trying to keep Tillman away from getting that ball in the low blocks. He picks up the foul, and you could read his lips like, how?
Tillman commands so much respect when the ball's on the glass. You put a couple of blue jerseys around him, and yeah, Jackson, what's he supposed to do? He's just getting whipped inside the restricted arc, and the push and shove match goes against 23 in blue.
Isaiah Jackson goes 6'10", 206. Jeremiah Tillman is 6'10", 260. He's given up 54 pounds there.
54-pound difference. And Jeremiah Tillman, with his 4-year-old son named TJ, he has done a phenomenal job balancing all the things in his life. And Konzo's done a really good job of filming on his phone. And just for one of these days, for Jeremiah to look back and say, I watched you as a coach your senior year. manage basketball, manage the stress of academics, and be a phenomenal father to TJ. And Jeremiah with a lot of pressure on him coming out of East St. Louis. Very difficult part of the country. A lot of stuff going on there that can take you down. Tillman has worked his way through it magically.
Dante Allen misses. Kentucky 3 of 10 now from three-point land. And Missouri here will call a timeout.
No matter which shade of blue you bleed.
This rivalry is the very best that college basketball has to offer.
That game Saturday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. There's a lot of great rivalries in sports for a while. The Red Sox and Yankees had similar numbers with exponentially more games played. 49 wins for Carolina, 51 wins for Duke, and they are separated by 14 points. That's their last 100 meetings. And we expect a close one. Both teams, Jimmy, this season have shown that they can be really good, and they have been dreadfully inconsistent. But I look back so far where we're at in college basketball, inconsistent with the exception of Gonzaga, Baylor, a couple of others, but it's a long list of inconsistent play.
Well, it is, and I can't even remember the last time Duke and Carolina played and they weren't ranked. The reason is because it was before I was born. That's how long it's been, but that game still has. I was blessed to do it one time. I was a sideline reporter, Dickie V, and I'm not sure who was the play-by-play that night, but just, man, I'm telling you, Ravi, walking in the building for a Duke-Carolina game, it feels different than any arena I've ever been in my time in sports.
Tough alley-oop. Tillman got the rim. He didn't get the ball. And they get a foul on Drew Smith.
Tillman's played 14.
Jimmy.
Go ahead, Ravi.
Just how dismissive you were of the play-by-play guy that night.
Well, it was. I'm not sure.
No. I mean, that's you didn't. Don't pay attention.
It was Mike Patrick. It was Mike Patrick is who it was, and he's a tremendous voice right there with yours. I think college basketball. I think you and
put
Mike
the
Patrick.
shovel away. The hole is big enough. You've dug a big hole. Speed. Look out. Oh, Pinson missed it, but Smith is there with the follow.
Yeah, that speed that won the initial shot and effort that won the second shot by Missouri.
And at the buzzer, Mintz shot comes up shy. Good half for Missouri, especially from three-point land. They took 11 and they made 7 for a team that shoots 30% on the season. That's a difference maker. And you get 5 different guys who knocked in a 3. Another nightmarish half for the Kentucky Wildcats. They're down big, 40-27. The E-Trade halftime report with Kevin and company set to go. Missouri 40, Kentucky 27. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Jimmy Dykes, Carl Ravitch, Old Missouri, the campus of the Missouri Tigers. And they have been ranked almost most of the season, 18th right now. Outstanding three-point shooting in the first half. Not typical of this team. 5 players with 5 or more points. Drew Smith leads the way with 10. And Missouri had 11 second chance points. Kentucky, known for its offensive rebounding, 0. We've seen what Missouri has done well. John Calipari's used just about everybody in his tool belt tonight, Jimmy. And I'm curious what you think the halftime message is. What do you do to get them to play better?
Well, I think it's just boiled down to one halftime message for Calipari. But what they have to do right now is defensively get a lot more active. They have to score off their defense in this game, Ravi. The numbers are what they are. Kentucky again shooting 35% from the floor in the first half. One of the worst offensive efficiency teams in the nation this year is the team in blue. That may not change going forward, so they have to change it up in some other area. Their defense to offense should be one of those areas.
Well, they had a wide open 3, and Pinson can't come up with that. That's going to be a foul on the floor against Missouri. They call that one on Tillman. That's his second. He and Brown each with 2 now for Missouri. And a couple for Jackson and Sarr on the other side. Olivier Sarr didn't play many minutes in the first half because of those 2 fouls. He's in. He sets a pin down there on Tillman. He'll go one-on-one in the lane. A little running hook. That's good.
And that's getting Sarr in the spot on the floor where he's most comfortable. He's a face-up guy that can drive you and knock down a 12, 15-footer.
A couple of misses out of the gate for Missouri. Sarr and Tillman get locked up. Who's the call going to be? It's going to be against Tillman. And I believe that's going to be his 3rd, if in fact it is called against Tillman.
Olivier Sarr is a big-time fisherman. And a guy that, when he goes, man, he's got some success about him. Big Bass Nation with Olivier Sarr, and big giant catfish on the left and a largemouth bass on the right. It looks about like a 10-pound largemouth bass for Sarr. He can fish, and he's got the hook to back it up as well on the basketball floor. A real, very smooth athlete again. Looks terrific in all the individual workouts. Struggles sometimes in a crowd in a physical ball game.
Now, big story now. Tillman, with 19 to go here in the first half, goes to the bench with 3 fouls. Mints the penetration and the basket.
Well, with no Tillman, Kentucky's doing the right thing. I think John Calipari now goes to ball screen action and tries to get his guards downhill. He has to use a ball screen to free up his drivers because they're not terrific winning the one-on-one battle. A really good job by Mintz, who, again, he is their best overall guard. I'm not saying he's all outstanding, all conference, but in terms of their best overall guard on both ends, the guy that can get them back in this game, 10 in blue to me is it.
Kobe Brown, he's going to have to go to the bench. He's got 3 fouls on him now, so a couple of the big guys for Missouri in foul trouble as we're just underway in the second half. 13-point lead is down to 8.
If you're Kentucky, you're banking on Missouri goes back to their 28% three-point shooting that they've been all year. That you stay tight and make sure you take away the airspace and make them earn those looks.
Tough shot for Pinkett. That was contested by Ware. Kentucky's got a chance to slice it down even further. Isaiah Jackson, again, no Tillman there, and no Brown right inside. He's going to get fouled. Kentucky's game plan right now, get it in the paint and go to the rack.
Well, in back-to-back possessions, that Kentucky goes to that left block. And that's where most post players are most comfortable, especially for those right-handed guys, because once they come to the middle, Ravi, they can pass with the right hand, their vision is better. They can get the defense on the high side of the left shoulder, boom, and spin back off of it. And a really good job by Jackson to stay low on the spin to get his shoulders by the defender.
Mitchell Smith picks up his 2nd foul. And already Missouri 4 fouls in the second half.
I sense, we're not there, I sense an energy increase by Kentucky the first 2 minutes of this second half.
That's contested. Jackson then deflects it away from Braun. They're running. There's Boston. Contested, but he knocks it in, and it's a 5-point game.
Yeah, the energy and the speed that Kentucky's playing with, as good as I've seen in the last 2 or 3 ball games. And a terrific start by Cal out of that locker room. You asked me how to fix it? I told you. Defensive energy, fight, score off your defense. Well done by Big Blue so far.
We're back. Pretty easy to see what's happened so far in the second half. Kentucky 3 of 3 from the floor. And Missouri's 0 for 4. Tillman's gone to the bench. He's got 3 fouls, as has Kobe Brown with 3 fouls. And the advantage this half has been all Big Blue, Jimmy.
Well, they're not going to be great in the half-court offense, Kentucky, so what do you do about it? Man, you do something on the defensive end. You get yourself going with your run game. And the energy level, the effort level, the fight level. I talked about Baylor in terms of playing like a pack of dogs. That's how Kentucky can turn this game around.
6-0 run since Tillman left the game with that 3rd foul. They've gone inside to do it. And Missouri throws the alley-oop, and they threw it away. They had Parker Brown open on the baseline, and Pinson's pass a little too high.
Missouri is not good at that lob pass. I watched their last 2 ball games. They missed that thing more than they completed. Back screen for Jackson to the block. We watched Calipari that last time out, drawing up plays that he once ran. It looked to me like he was going to give Missouri a heavy dose of back screening bigs to the block and continue to pound away with Tillman on the block.
Foul on Mitchell Smith. Fouls continue to pile up for Missouri. You heard the crowd, as small as it is, get loud with the number of fouls being called against the Tigers. Askew, that's short.
Good action, just good Spain action is what you call that in the middle part of the floor. Just got to knock down the open elbow jump.
Corner 3, that's no good. And Braun, they're going to call that on Ware. He pushed off on Parker Braun. Lance Ware will pick up his second. Jacob Toppin not available for Kentucky tonight. He's out, so Ware getting a lot more minutes.
All right, man, if we're supposed to call the big boy fouls in this league, I'm not sure that was a big boy foul. There's just a gentle nudge by Ware.
Nudge, good use of the word nudge. That was a nudge. That was a little more physical on Boston, and he picks up the foul.
Parker Brown, spelled Braun, has given Missouri some good minutes tonight. Let's try to find out by Saturday why the Browns spell their last name Braun, and how many times has this guy in his life had to say this, it's pronounced Brown. You know, every time he goes somewhere with a roll call, they're saying Braun, it's pronounced Brown.
No doubt. Oh, I say it, Jackson just took that ball away. Kentucky pushes, Mintz 3. No good.
Let it fly though, man. Yeah, Cal's gonna applaud that effort, man. Rush the floor, take a 3, and let's keep playing.
Good tick, that's another block. That time it's Ware. Here they come again. And this time they'll slow it down. Some good defense for Kentucky. The block's starting to pile up for them as well.
Ravi, watch this ball going to the block now. Going to be a pin down for Brooks. Same
thing. The shot clock. Brooks had it deflected, loose ball, and it comes away with Missouri. Smith banged into Askew, and that's going to be 2 free throws for Drew Smith.
Brooks just not strong, man, in a crowd. Gets ripped. Missouri goes the other way. And that's what Isaiah Jackson can do. How good are his numbers? He is number 10 in the nation at 2.9 blocks per game, talking about 23 in blue. He's number 2 in the nation, Ravi, in terms of his block percentage is 15%. He's blocking 15% of every shot taken while he's on the floor. Second best in the country.
And that 15% is better than Anthony Davis, Willie Cauley-Stein, Nerlens Noel. His issue has been his fouls, because he's also averaging about 5.2 fouls per 40 minutes. Somebody like Davis was around 2.4 fouls for 40 minutes.
You've heard me describe Jackson before. Just put him in the game and say, man, go. You use your motor and just make plays. Don't worry about anything else. There you go. It is a steady dose of left block. Different guys for Calipari going to work on the inside right now offensively. A steady dose.
Jackson's got 4 points, and Missouri's got 1 here in the second half. They've gone a little cold after such a great first half. Good back cut. Ware met him at the rim. We're going to get a foul. Lance Ware had it, and Jimmy, I think he brought his hands down. Is that why there was the foul called?
Yeah, because it was a verticality collision play at the rim, and I think they got Ware for bringing the arms down. But a good job by 55 in blue to at least bring the fight. Take it, Ravi.
When we come back, Jeremiah Tillman called it an awakening experience. We'll hear from Consul Martin on his team's visits to the Civil Rights Museums and other scenes and sites in Alabama last week.
Well, I think we got ways to go, because when you hate, it's hard to get past anything. I'm not sure we'll ever get to where we need to be as long as we have hate in front of everything we do. But we have to find a way to remove the hate. We have to make decisions based on what's best for people. Just to go in that facility, everybody was speechless. Like Jeremiah said, it brought him to tears. And there were a lot of people back then that not living today as ancestors who did a lot of things, made a lot of sacrifices, lost lives for me to be sitting in this position right now today. So I don't take that for granted. I've never took that for granted. I'm prayerful that we can get to a point in our society we can be better.
Head coach Conzo Martin grew up in East St. Louis, said he saw things that no one at 14 should see through their entire lives. If you want to learn more about Black history, always go to theundefeated.com. He took his team to Montgomery, Alabama, which of course is the birthplace of the Civil Rights Movement. This was after their game against Auburn last week. They went to the National Memorial for Peace and Justice, the Legacy Museum, from enslavement to mass incarceration. Both of those built by the Equal Justice Initiative. They reflect on the 19th century America, which is remembering, amongst many tragedies, the black lynching victims, slavery, racial segregation, and a lot more. And we've talked about this before, Jimmy, when coaches who have years of experience, regardless of what that experience is, then impart that wisdom on their players, their pupils, their students, the kids are generally going to be way better off for it. And Conzo is a great teacher with so much experience.
I think I speak for you as well. He taught us today.
Yeah.
I mean, for about 10 minutes, he was as eloquent and as well educated in terms of the social justice issues, the race issues that our country has dealt with through the eyes of a guy, like you said, that saw a lot of tough stuff growing up in East St. Louis, but he refused to let that be an excuse for him and his path. And it was a joy to listen to Conzo today express to us all the things that he has seen, heard, dealt with, that he shares with his players. It was a very impactful 10 minutes with Coach today, and I appreciate his brute honesty with us.
So Kentucky, Jimmy, had all their field goals in the first half. They had like a handful, 5 of them in the paint. They have 5 field goals now in the paint in the second half already. Missouri's getting cold here from the field, and a chance to pull within 2, if not 1. Boston buries a 3. It's a 1-point game.
Boston would not have taken that shot 2 or 3 weeks ago, and Cal has driven it home. We need 6 to 8 more shots a game. We're not a great shooting team. When you are open and it's a good look, let that thing fly. And this is exactly what Boston does. Kentucky continues to score again off of their defense. Push that thing up. Boston sprints to the scoring part of the floor. That slot 45 really sets up well for a shooter's eyes or a non-shooter's eyes. In the case of Boston, you look up and it's a 1-point game.
How cold is Missouri here in the second half? They're 0 for 8 from the field. All 3 of their points have come from the free throw line here in the second half.
15-3 this half, right, by Kentucky?
Another turnover.
Keep pushing, keep running, keep scoring. In the half court, keep pounding away at that left block.
Tillman back on the floor with 3 fouls for Missouri. They had to do it. Ware goes at him and he walked before he got there.
Yeah, that's not Ware's job. That's give him the ball 20 feet and take off as a driver. That's not his job. He's a dribble handoff guy, 1 or 2 bounces at best, and get his rear back down on that block.
So whose fault is that? Who put him in that position? Did he create that, or did one of the guards?
No, yeah, I think he just broke off of what he was supposed to be doing, because normally a big out there is just, they're supposed to do a dribble handoff action and dive back to the rim.
Smith takes it at Ware. First field goal for Missouri this half.
Good job by Missouri to start pounding away at the paint themselves. Quit trying to be a jump shooting team right now, holding on to this lead.
Jackson trying to get 4 on Tillman. Good defense that time, and Tillman, and a turnover for Kentucky.
We hear Cal scream, foul. That would have been a big play in this game for Tillman to pick up his 4th.
That's an open 3. That's deflected. Jackson, another block. And a foul after the shot on Kobe Brown, his 4th.
You can't shoot a slow release jump shot in Isaiah Jackson within 10 or 12 feet of it. You can, but it's going to be sent right back to you. And a slow release jump shot, this time by Brown, and Isaiah Jackson just eats it up, man. Goes to the shot side of the body, avoids the foul. Look at this guy. One of those type of plays. I remember Anthony Davis making plays like that for Kentucky in the national championship game. Just flying out from around the lane area to the corner 3s. Not a lot of dudes can make those plays. potential big play, big call that doesn't go in Kentucky's favor. Jackson tries to drive Tillman. Tillman holds his ground. There's no foul there. No foul. Just a good job by Tillman to move his feet, keep his hands high, and show them to the official.
Good hustle from Mintz, but it's out of bounds off Kentucky. Wildcats have 7 blocks in this game. Jackson credited with 2 of those blocks. Benson in the paint. Nice take with his left.
Yeah, Kentucky's forcing weak. So they're forcing Pinson to his weak hand, but you open up your hips that much, that's just a straight line drive for Pinson, and no reason for help defense not to be there. Missouri not shooting the ball well in the second half.
Ask you, did he get tripped up? He did. They're going to call that on Xavier Pinson. Ask you will go to the line as they're in the bonus. Reminder tomorrow, huge women's basketball doubleheader for you. Georgia, number 25 against 12 and 4 Alabama, 7 Eastern Time, 6 Central. And then LSU takes on number 7 Texas A&M. You can see both games right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. That's 7 and 9 Thursday women's college basketball. Askew's free throw, good.
Missouri's last basket, Kentucky forces weak, forcing to his weak hand, boom, straight down the pipe, no help defense. Askew bails out on the play. Pinson makes him pay.
Productive game for Devin Askew. He's got 7 points, only 1 turnover, 3 assists. Pinson looking for help. All 3 blue jerseys converged on the idea that Tillman was going to get the ball, and he and Isaiah Jackson keep battling. Alley-oop, that works. Good pass.
Did you see the eye fake that Pinson put on? I believe it was Sarr. There's a mismatch. Pinson faked him with his eyes, with his head, and got the defender to step up just for a second. Bam, man, right by him. Beautifully done by Pinson.
Askew, that's no good, and the rebound to Missouri. Smith, little runner, it goes over the front iron, then the back and down.
Missouri scoring off their defense now, just like Kentucky did to get back in this game. I love the last play by X. He gets the mismatch, the speed comes in, but watch him sell it with his eyes, Ravi. Right there, he got Sarr to stand up, froze him with his eyes, and then the pass to Tillman coming off this time the right block. Missouri charging right back out to a 6-point lead.
Missouri on an 8-3 run since Tillman got back in the game, and this the first of 2 on ESPN2 tonight.
Coming up at 9 Eastern, it's going to be somewhat of a coming home party for Cade Cunningham, the most talked about freshman in the country, Chris.
And we saw him the other day put Arkansas in his pocket in the last 5 minutes of that game. Best finish to a game, close to a game by a guy I've seen all season long.
We'll see you at 9 o'clock.
All right, Rich, Chris, thank you. We look forward to that. Cade Cunningham, just one of these guys that's going to end up at the next level in the NBA. And you'll be able to get a chance to see him later. He was fantastic against Arkansas, as they said late. You see his versatility, his court vision. This according to our NBA draft analyst, Mike Schmitz. Defensive IQ, good. And the most complete prospect in the draft. What do you think about that, Jimmy?
Well, I'd agree with it. I think this kid's about winning. A big guard is going to be a terrific point guard in that league. And that's what a future really good pro looks like as a freshman. And Kentucky just, they don't have that guy this year in their freshman class.
Right.
And you thought they had a couple coming in with Boston and Clark, highly ranked. The mock drafts were all over them early, but it has not played out that way. And you know what? That's okay. If you're Boston and Clark and Askew, you accept your own path and you come back and you fight and you make yourself where you're supposed to be. And Boston's still being projected as a first-round pick by a lot of folks. I just don't see it. I just do not see it. And that's That's not a knock against Boston at all. It's just where he is as a player right now, because nothing in Boston's game, to me, translates right now to the NBA. He is not a strong driver. I think the contact would completely chew him up. He doesn't understand how to draw NBA-type fouls. The shot's not there. The defensive impact is not there. Is he long? Yes. Is he a fluid athlete? Yes. Could he score as a high school player as an A- level? Yes. Not in the college level. Not in the college level so far.
Hasn't translated. We'll have much more on those prospects coming up during our second game. That's a minced 3. They needed a bucket. Sarr goes back to the bench after picking up a foul. Both teams in the bonus now.
That's a minced 3, but a great awareness by Isaiah Jackson to know on a baseline drive, Kentucky does a good job of running behind the action and filling the gap.
Now, Missouri trending back towards that 30% three-point field goal shooting for the game.
Yep.
Remember, they were 70% in the first half. They are 0 for 5 here in half number 2.
Kentucky, Ravi, they're trying to back screen Jackson to the block, but man, you got to lay the wood to somebody.
Easy shot, like a layup from Mintz there.
Same slot that I talked about. That angle, next time you're on a basketball court, go to that angle, that 45-degree angle slot, and just look at the rim. There's something about that view that is really appealing to shooters.
Tillman wanted it. They couldn't get it to him, but a big 3. That one's dropped. And the lead back up to 5.
Watch Kentucky's screen. They've got to go find a white jersey, bam, and deliver it, man, and get guys freed up.
Tillman switches to Askew. Mintz trying to make it 3 in a row. Can't get it. Offensive rebound goes instead to Missouri. Here's the run out. Javon Pickett lays it up and in with the left.
And if you're Kentucky, you're trying to fight your way back. On the road, you fight hard, you don't come up with a rebound, and that defensive balance, man. I don't know if Kentucky right now has 3 guys to the offensive glass and 2 back, 4 to the offensive glass and 1 back. Whatever that balance was, the 1 or the 2 didn't get their job done.
Right. Drew Smith, he'll take a seat, get a little rest here. He's got 17 to lead the way. Last 4 minutes of each game that Kentucky has played in that they've lost have been brutal for them. We still get 9.5 here. Every time they seem to get close, Missouri's able to find another gear. Ware stuck in the paint. Askew, that's a tough shot, and it's an air ball. And here comes Missouri again. They're going to get a foul before. Tough shot for Devin Askew, not a good shot at all.
Yeah, you say tough, I say bad. And again, man, that's been Kentucky's struggles this year, just so inefficient in the half-court offense. They've gotten themselves back in this game by really being lightning quick off their defensive stops and scoring in transition and getting the ball moving. Askew that time just trying to create something out of nothing.
Try to get clarification on what sends Pinson to the line, whether it was something that one of the Kentucky players said.
This kid, only Scottie Pippen Jr. for Vanderbilt has a higher usage rate in the SEC than Pinson. Finishes off a lot of possessions as a passer, as a shooter with a ball in his hands, and Bruiser right now. Take the hard coaching, man. Look him in the eye, say, yes, sir. Understand, I'll try to do better. And I think Askew's wired like that more than he's not. And that's just barking at the official, and Doug Sermons ain't going to put up with that.
And you can see in the left side of your screen, Calipari, instead of looking at Sermon or anything with the official, he went right at Askew.
Sure.
He's on the bench. 9-point game and a dangerous spot for Kentucky. 3-ball corner, no good. Fight for the rebound. Keon Brooks wins it. And then he ran out of bounds with it. And he had, if he looked, Davian Mintz just to his left. He couldn't see him or hear him. And out of bounds.
Calipari thought his guy got held. Cal going with the double mask tonight. That could have been a foul initially, but then Brooks just he just pivots the wrong way and never saw Mintz begging for the ball.
Tillman very quiet. He's got those 3 fouls, but very quiet offensively. Haven't been able to get him that ball on the block. Pickett, runner. No good. Good board by Jackson.
Can you score right now in transition if you're Kentucky? There you go. You got you.
That's a goaltend on Tillman. Credit Keon Brooks with the basket. Credit Jackson with his 8th rebound tonight to go with those blocks. And perhaps Javon Pickett rolled that ankle of his.
Kentucky scored because of the throw-ahead pass from the guard to the corner. That's where the 2 points ultimately were scored from. I know Brooks laid it in. It happened at midcourt with a pass.
There's Tillman as Pickett gets worked on. 3 ball, too strong. Box out from where?
Mitchell Smith has not made a 3-point shot in that corner 3 times in a row with Isaiah Jackson flying at him. There you go.
There's your 45-degree angle, Jimmy. That worked again for Boston.
I'm telling you. Go out, shovel your driveway for the 6th time again tomorrow, and go out and shoot from that corner angle, Ravi, and tell me what it looks like to you.
I'll try. That's a big 3 from Smith. Another 45-degree shot. Basket's just bigger from that angle.
How many times have you shoveled your driveway in the last 36 hours?
17 inches, snow blow, and Team Ravitch out there 6 times in the last 24. 6.
Florida had wins over West Virginia and Tennessee in the last 2 weeks, but Sean, tonight a clunker.
Yeah, they could not clean up their defensive glass. Too many offensive rebounds, second chance points for South Carolina in this one.
Big win for the Gamecocks. Meantime, DC, Pitt strong at home.
They're a desperate team, KC. 3 straight losses. They want to be a tournament team. They're making a statement. Xavier Johnson's been outstanding. 28 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. More importantly, though, Ravi, the man of your stature. There's no way you were out there 6 times, maybe not even 1 time.
Not true. You know, Ravi, he's got his lawnmower in the summer and he's got a snowblower in the winter. I was out there literally 5 times yesterday, and then the 6th time in the morning. So it was really 2 days ago, and then yesterday morning. 6 times. We've got that big game in the Big Ten coming up. And it's interesting, they mentioned the Florida loss as we're back here with a 63-56 game. In the SEC, unless you're Alabama, you cannot have a bad night and expect to win. Isaiah Jackson with a flush there. But we've seen it with Tennessee. We've seen it with the good teams, Missouri. If you're off, you're going to lose no matter who you're playing.
Right, there's only one team that has any shot of catching Alabama, and it's the team in white right now on their home floor. And I'm saying that if they hold on and win this game. If they lose this game, that SEC race is over, man. Florida with a bad loss tonight on their home floor against a physically tough South Carolina team that punked them on the glass. Calipari staying right with it, man. Pound that thing inside. You double team us, that's fine. We'll throw right over the top of that double team and hanging this ball game down 5 on the road. Ravi, you're tougher than you look. That's why people don't believe that you mow your own yard and use a snow shovel. You are tougher than you look.
Hard to guard out there when it gets to nature, no doubt. That's Sarr, and all of a sudden a 3-point game. Jimmy, how do you get Tillman involved offensively?
Like they have all year. You got to get the ball reversed and throw it to him on this left block and make the defense respond to his touch. And right now, Jeremiah Tillman's in that part of the game, Ravi, where he has to start demanding that ball. That sweetness in his heart that I really appreciate in terms of not wanting to be the guy that's always demanding it. He needs to start demanding something right now. A 3-point lead, trying to hold on to this ball game. Still playing with 3 fouls. Just turn it loose and go to work.
Drew Smith, 3 of 4 from the stripe tonight. 17 points, make it 18. And we're into that witching hour, Jimmy. You know, it feels like that Georgia loss for Kentucky. There have been so many big losses, but that one was a proverbial dagger. And you got to win one of these in the last couple of minutes in order to keep winning. When you keep losing, that's what happens in those last 4 minutes. And we're heading to that last 4-minute mark in another close game.
Yeah, look at Kentucky's numbers in the last 4 minutes this year, shooting 37% from the floor, 5 out of 30 from the 3-point line, which is 16%, and 22 turnovers.
Means that's just short. Good rebound in traffic for Smith. This is a team that returned almost 90% of their scoring from last season, a veteran team.
Got him.
And it's showing down the stretch. You're right.
Yeah. But you heard Konzo hollering out. I don't know if it was Blue Cross or what it was, but the whole action was designed to set a side screen for Tillman to getting back to that left block. And there's that experience, Ravi, that you're talking about. That, man, it's so important this year. Gonzaga, Baylor, Iowa, Michigan. Just keep on going down the list of those best teams. Older guys, man, have been through it.
Look at that. I mean, think about the one and done. Think about the teams that are so dependent on freshmen. The guys that came back are responsible for almost 100% of the points for Missouri this year.
I just know last week, out of all the starters in the top 10, 45 of the 50 starters in the top 10 were a part of their program last year. That's a huge statement. I think the college coaches going forward with a one-time transfer rule possibly coming in. Get your roster old, keep it old. Let it fly, Sarr.
He does, and he knocks it down. 4-point game. Olivier Sarr, not known for three-point shooting, gets that one to go.
I say that because back in September, the Kentucky staff told me our best shooters right now, Davion Mintz and Olivier Sarr. So he's got it in him. Let it fly.
They're going to get Sarr with a hold on the floor. Only his third three of the season. But a big foul here on Olivier Sarr. And for Sarr, that's number 5. He just made the 3, and Olivier Sarr picks up foul number 5. Saturday primetime presented by H&R Block. We started out with Duke, North Carolina, a Sonic blockbuster at 6. And then the border battle, number 11 Tennessee and Kentucky. That one's at Rupp, both these games on ESPN and the app. So you can watch anywhere. That's a huge story here, Jimmy. 5.5 to go. Because of what it does on the defensive end with your ability to double on Tillman, and obviously a guy that can put the ball in the basket.
Well, and I'm not going to say that Sarr was going to make 2 more threes in this game, but because he made one and looked really good doing it, he did have the ability to drag Tillman away from the rim. And Cal talked to you and I today about, can we drag Tillman away from the rim? And one of the guys capable of doing it, whether you're just dragging him to the 12 or to the 15 mark, not going to watch the rest of the game with a mask on.
Tillman's 8th point.
In a close game, under 4 minutes. If I'm Calipari, I've got guys lined up to put fouls on this kid and see if he can do more than just make 1 out of every 2 from the free throw line. Heavy with his left hand on top of that ball. Good shot by our director, Derek Mobley. Almost blocking his own shot.
Yeah, Ware and Mark Smith getting a little physical with each other. The possession arrow favoring Kentucky, so it'll be their ball.
Yeah, physical play. Don't let go of it. I mean, neither guy back down, and a good job by Doug Sermons to step in, say, hey, had an effort. Ball's out of bounds. Let's go. Kentucky just not screening good enough to get that post catch on the block.
Yeah, not the shot for Isaiah Jackson that Calipari would want, even though he's saying if you have an open shot, shoot it. Isaiah Jackson, that's not his game.
No, he was in his drive spot, man. That's where he can really punch it one bounce and put some pressure on you to move your feet. Got it.
Mintz steps in. That's a steal and an easy layup, a flush. Back to a 3-point game.
And Kentucky's going to be in one of those close games again with 4 minutes to go. So they've done their homework, and now the test is getting ready to come.
Pinson, tough pass, good hands from Isaiah Jackson.
Keep going and running, don't you, if you're Kentucky?
Cal calls a play. 4:30 to go, and Jeremiah Tillman with his 19-point average in his last 7 games. Offensive foul on Mintz. Tillman has 8 points.
My live eye looked to me like Mitchell Smith stepped up and was moving into the space of Mintz as he leaves the floor. He steps up and moves over. That is not a charge. Mitchell Smith is sliding over that left foot. He's not set, and a tough call goes against Kentucky.
Pinson to the hole, reverse. Jackson blocked it. Pinson could not do anything with a rebound. Tillman had a chance, and he couldn't get it to go. Jackson gets tripped up, And that'll send him to the free throw line. Wild exchange on the other end.
Oh, man. I love watching Isaiah Jackson play. He does some things that drives you nuts, but he also does some things you just can't teach. His quickness, man, off the floor on a speed guard. I mean, Pinson has some speed with the ball and getting up off the floor. And Isaiah Jackson just had no part of it.
Best part of Jackson's game tonight, or one of them, has been the fact that he has not gotten into foul trouble. He's only got 2 of those.
Yeah, he's a kid that averages, what, 5.2 fouls per 40 minutes.
Yep.
Anthony Davis averaged only 2.4 fouls per 40. Nerlens Noel only 3.2 fouls per 40. So he can block the shots. He's just got to learn to keep his body off of people like those other 2 guys.
Yeah, make free throws. They missed another one. He's a 71% free throw shooter. Kentucky on the night has 9 of 16 from the free throw line. That's 7 points, and they're down by 3. Brown had it, got blown up, and lost the ball. Brooks then had it deflected to him, and he was out of bounds.
Start keeping track of the stats now for Kentucky with 4 minutes to go. They have been brutal so far this year. Their field goal percentage, 37%. Their three-point percentage, 16%, and too many turnovers. Can they turn the corner tonight?
A double-double for Justin Champagnie-Dallin, but he's not the story for Pitt tonight.
Xavier Johnson comes off the bench for the first time tonight, sending a message. They've lost 3 straight. He's got 32 and 5. That's more combined than he's had the past 3 games.
Pitt up 13. Meantime, Sean Cade and the Cowboys will start on ESPN News.
Yeah, Cade Cunningham was outstanding against Arkansas. Closed down the stretch, 14 of his 21, including the game winner. He's been great.
Oklahoma State set to start over on ESPN News here on ESPN2, Ravi, after we go final.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here over the last 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Missouri's won some close games. Kentucky has not. They've been outscored by 37 over the last 4. How about a minus 37 over the last 4 minutes? You see their field goal percentage, and they blew 3 leads that ended in a loss. Kansas, at Georgia, and last Tuesday against Alabama.
You know, if I'm Cal in that last time out, I take my whiteboard and I draw a line. I say this is the time. We're either going to draw a line and put an end to this nonsense, or we're not. What will we do under 4 in this ball game?
Really good take there from Mark Smith. Big bucket with a soft touch. 5-point game. Mintz throws the alley-oop. Not a good pass. It's deflected there at the rim.
Ravi, he threw it short.
Yep.
I mean, you can never short pass a guy like Isaiah Jackson, because he's going to go as high as he's got to do to get it.
Mitchell Smith got a hand on it. So that's an empty trip for Kentucky here as we talk about the last 4 minutes.
Yep.
Jackson got in the air, and that didn't roll in. Good effort there from Drew Smith. But Jackson picks up another foul.
Yeah, you took the shot fake. If you're Jackson, can't do it. So I'm talking about Missouri. Just a good job of driving, man. Getting those 2 feet on that SEC logo and letting it fly. A tough body blow, too. And the short pass by Jackson. He just cannot throw that thing low. And Kentucky works on that pass a lot. Throw it at the corner of the backboard. And if it goes too high, pat your guy on the butt and say sorry, but never too low.
Smith now 22 points after that free throw. He's been terrific from the free throw line, 8 of 9. Knocks down another one. Here we go again with Missouri. Strong down the stretch. Kentucky so far not good.
Kentucky goes to 3 circle. They have their 3-man Boston. We're just running circles along that baseline, trying to get freed up for a jump shot. Missouri has no part of it.
Devin Askew 5 on the shot clock. Backdoor cut by Mintz, and they threw it away. And here we are with another empty trip for Kentucky within the last 4 minutes.
You're at the part of the game as a coach where you wish you knew exactly where you were going to go for your offense. Kentucky just does not have that answer this year.
Yeah, the Maxis and the P.J. Washingtons that we've seen recently be the go-to guys. Tyler Hero.
Yeah, P.J. Washington he would just go that left block and say game over. And Cal has not figured out who that guy is, or maybe they just don't have that guy this year. It's probably the second part as opposed to the first.
Terrific night for Drew Smith, 23 points. You see the three-point shooting, and he's got 9 of his 23 points from the free throw line. Now 10. The senior out of Evansville, Indiana. 7 straight games in double figures. He had 21 against Auburn a week ago. And an 85% free throw shooter, amongst the best in the conference.
Has Kentucky scored under 4 minutes, Ravi, since the 4-minute mark?
No.
I don't believe they have.
Not from the 3:47 mark, which was when we came back from commercial.
Driving. There you go. Don't settle for that jump shot. Drive that ball. Use your speed and your quickness off the bounce.
Missouri as a team about a 71% free throw shooting group. Isaiah Jackson went straight up that time, and that is a ball off Kentucky. It'll stay Missouri ball. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Drew Smith, the pass in the 3. That's short. Mintz has it, and they try to push.
Let it go.
He did, and he found the bottom. 4-point game, timeout. $1:15 to go.
Just amazing. Carolina and Duke always delivers.
It's part of the enthusiasm and energy. Probably not advisable to bounce the baby around like that, but you understand. You understand where Dad would feel that emotion. That's, of course, Duke and North Carolina, and that is the rivalry renewed again. Here, Missouri 74, Kentucky 70. Good play by Isaiah Jackson there too, Jimmy. You know, he didn't take it, and he waited, found Mintz, and he knocked down another 3. Davion Mintz got 18 points tonight, hit 4 threes.
Yeah, that's where Kentucky scored, was Isaiah Jackson just outrunning everybody, dragging the defense with him down low enough to free up Mintz. If Tillman's in the game for Missouri, I do everything I can if I'm Kentucky to let him catch it and put him on the free throw line. Funnel the ball his direction. Play behind him. Do whatever you can. Tell the Missouri guard, hey, throw it to Tillman. Whatever you got to do. Missouri's smart enough and tough enough to run offense probably without Tillman getting a touch right now.
Try to keep it in the hands of Pinson, Drew Smith as well.
Yep.
Pinson, that's a 3. That's an air ball, but we got a whistle on the floor, and I think it looks like, based on the reaction of Boston, they're going to call it on him. Let's quickly get it back to Kevin Connors in our studio.
And Ravi, we want to let you know Oklahoma State TCU is underway right now on ESPN News. Projected #1 overall pick Cade Cunningham and the Cowboys in the mix in a crowded Big 12. We'll see it next year on ESPN2 after hour. Good finish in Columbia.
Well, let's hope it's a good finish. It's 74-70. Missouri has used Drew Smith's 25 points, along with double figures from Pinson and Mark Smith with 11.
Missouri,
second half's been a little more difficult, Jimmy. They're shooting 20% from three-point land after shooting 70 in the first half, only 2 of 10, but they haven't needed it because of the free throws.
Yeah, Missouri 17 points from that stripe tonight. 9 made threes at 43%, way above their number. Watch Tillman. To me, he blocks his own shot with his left hand. See how that ball's on top of it right there, Ravi?
Yep.
He's literally kind of blocking his own shot. And it's the first time I've noticed it, my first Missouri game this year. And the games I've watched on film have not had this camera shot. But again, it's so hard for a guy with hands that big to get that left hand off of it. Push it and go. Still got a chance if you're Kentucky.
The rebound by Isaiah Jackson. He is Got 9 of those. Brooks, that 3, no good. Good save to keep it inbounds from Mitchell Smith. Boy, Keon Brooks 3-pointer.
I'm surprised, Ravi, I'm surprised the play wasn't for Davion Mintz. And we know Dante Allen is the best 3-point shooter. Not in the game. Mintz is the second best. And Brooks would be, I don't know, option 3, option 4. The best shooter Kentucky has. Sweat top on and a mask.
22% 3-point shooter. And they got it to the right guy. They're not fouling him, and there is the foul. Ware being screamed at, don't foul. They had him trapped, and that's the message that Coach Calipari's delivering. Lance Ware, that will be his 5th foul.
Well, it's a 2-possession game, regardless of what happens here. And if you're Kentucky, I would want all my shooters on the floor. You don't have very many to start with. And unless there's something going on with Dante Allen that I'm not aware of, I mean, he's played 7 minutes tonight. 0 for 2 from the 3-point line, but I mean, he's your 47, 48% 3-point shooter.
They call that foul not on Ware, so he sits with 4. 5-point game. Askew dribbles it and nearly out of bounds. They got to get a shot off here.
Yeah.
Mintz threw it up. That ball is nearly deflected in by Ware. Can't go. An injured Tiger is on the floor. That's Smith, who got whacked in the head. It's Missouri basketball with 9 seconds to go, and it looks like they're going to hang on and win. And I'm going to check on Mark Smith, who appeared to get poked in the eye.
I don't know if it's a possible contact problem with Mark. I think it's right there. Just Lance Ware got him inadvertently. And another failed 4 minutes by Kentucky, Ravi, to close out a game. It's hard to explain. It's hard to coach through. It's hard to get past right now if you're a Kentucky fan.
Missouri will dribble out the clock. Kentucky will drop to 4-5 in conference, 5-11 overall, and a good hard-fought win for the Missouri Tigers, Jimmy.
Big game Saturday, Ravi. You and I'll have it at noon on ESPN. Alabama in first place comes rolling in against a really good old Missouri club, Ravi.
Yeah, we'll learn a lot more about what Konzo Martin has that's special in his office. Join us on Saturday. For Jimmy Dykes, Scotty Matthews, and our entire crew, I'm Carl Ravitch. Missouri a winner. Next stop, Rich Hollenberg.